If you like what you're about to hear, please consider leaving a review, or liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing on YouTube. I don't have a Patreon or enable ads for this, so if you really like Oldex, please do contact Games Workshop on social media or via email, and tell them you want me to narrate their audiobooks for realsies. Oldex, Codex Chaos Space Marines, 4th edition, pages 61 to 88, Forces of Chaos, The Rules and Stats, Part 3, written by Gav Thorpe and Alessio Cavatore, narrated by R.J. Bailey, with great thanks to Alistair for donating this copy of Codex Chaos Space Marines. Summoned Demons. Summoning Demons. Units of demons always start the game in reserve, even in missions that do not normally allow the reserves rule to be used. When a demon unit becomes available from reserve, it must be deployed as detailed below. Once deployed, the demons cannot do anything else in that turn's movement phase, but after that they are free to act as normal. They can assault in the same turn that they entered the game. Greater Demons. When it becomes available from reserve, the Greater Demon possesses the body of either a champion, aspiring sorcerer, sorcerer of chaos, or chaos lord to enter the game. The controlling player chooses any suitable model in his own army and removes it from play, replacing it with the Greater Demon model. If there are no suitable models on the table at the time the Greater Demon becomes available, the Greater Demon cannot enter the battle and is destroyed. Models that have arrived from reserve in the same turn cannot be possessed. If the model that is possessed by the Greater Demon is inside a transport, the possessed model is killed, and the demon is deployed anywhere within 2 inches of one of the vehicle's access points. If the possessed model was engaged in close combat, the Greater Demon is placed as close as possible to the spot it occupied, but at least 1 inch away from any enemy models. Lesser Demons. A unit of summoned lesser demons is deployed in the same way as a unit that arrives from reserve, using the Deep Strike rule, and the first model must be placed within 6 inches of an icon of chaos. If there are no icons of chaos on the table at the time the summoned unit becomes available, the unit cannot enter the battle and is destroyed. Icons belonging to other units that have arrived from reserve in the same turn cannot be used. As normal, because they always appear within range of an icon of chaos, the deep-striking demons do not roll for scatter. If the model carrying the icon is inside a transport when the demons become available from reserve, the demons must deep strike within 6 inches of the vehicle, and will not scatter. Summoned Greater Demon Stat Line. Weapon Skill 8, Ballistic Skill 0, Strength 6, Toughness 6, Wounds 4, Initiative 4, Attacks 5, Leadership 10, Save null. Unit Type Monstrous Creature. Special Rules Fearless, 4+ Invulnerable Save. Summoned Lesser Demon Stat Line. Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 0, Strength 4, Toughness 4, Wounds 1, Initiative 4, Attacks 2, Leadership 10, Save null. Unit Type Infantry. Special Rules Fearless, 5+ Invulnerable Save. War Gear. The following pages contain the rules for equipment used by Chaos. Note that war gear that is unique to a particular unit is included in the Forces section instead. The war gear section is divided into subsections: heavy weapons, armor, etc., each of which lists its items in alphabetical order for ease of reference during play. Heavy weapons. Autocannon. Range 48 inches. Strength 7. AP 4. Type Heavy 2. Heavy Bolter, range 36 inches, strength 5, AP 4, type Heavy 3. Heavy Flamer, range Template, strength 5, AP 4, type Assault 1. Las Cannon, range 48, strength 9, AP 2, type Heavy 1. Missile Launcher, Frag, range 48 inches, strength 4, AP 6, type Heavy 1, Blast. Crack, range 48 inches, strength 8, AP 3, type Heavy 1. Multi-Melter, range 24 inches, strength 8, AP 1, type Heavy 1, Melter. Plasma Cannon, range 36 inches, strength 7, AP 2, type Heavy 1, Blast, gets hot. Reaper Autocannon, range 36 inches, strength 7, AP 4, type Heavy 2, twin-linked. Icons of Chaos, Icons and Deep Strike. If models in Terminator armor or obliterators are deployed onto the battlefield via Deep Strike and choose to do so within 6 inches of a model carrying an icon, then they won't scatter. If the icon bearer is inside a transport, then the range of the icon is 6 inches from the transport vehicle itself. Lesser demons must enter the game by deep striking within 6 inches of an icon. See Summoned Demons on page 61 for more details. Note that icons only work for models in Terminator armor, obliterators, and lesser demons, not for units entering play using jump packs or other means of transport. Also note that an icon must already be on the table at the start of the turn for it to be used. Personal icons. These icons simply guide teleporting models and demons. See Icons and Deep Strike. Squad icons. These icons are available to squads, and each has an additional effect on top of the one described in Icons and Deep Strike. If the icon bearer is killed, all the effects of the icon are lost. Icon of Chaos Glory. The unit may re-roll failed morale checks. Icon of Khorne. All models in the unit, except independent characters joining the unit, have the mark of Khorne. Icon of Nurgle. All models in the unit, except independent characters joining the unit, have the mark of Nurgle. Icon of Slaanesh. All models in the unit, except independent characters joining the unit, have the mark of Slaanesh. Icon of Tzeentch. All models in the unit, except independent characters joining the unit, have the mark of Tzeentch. Ranged weapons. Bolt gun. Range 24 inches. Strength 4. AP 5. Type rapid fire. Bolt pistol. Range 12. Strength 4. AP 5. Type pistol. Combi weapons. Combi weapons are bolters that have been converted to house another weapon, a melter gun, a plasma gun, or flamer. This extra weapon carries limited ammunition, allowing the weapon a single shot, perfect for shots of opportunity. A model armed with a combi weapon, combi melter gun, combi plasma gun, or combi flamer may choose to fire either the bolter or the other weapon. The bolter may be fired every turn, but the other weapon may only be used once per battle. You may not fire both weapons in the same turn. Flamer. Range template. Strength 4. AP 5. Type Assault 1. Melter gun. Range 12 inches. Strength 8. AP 1. Type Assault 1. Melter. Plasma gun. Range 24 inches. Strength 7. AP 2. Type rapid fire. Gets hot. Plasma pistol. Range 12 inches. Strength 7. AP 2. Type pistol. Gets hot. Close combat weapons. Chain fist. A chain fist is a power fist fitted with chain blade attachment designed to carve through armored bulkheads or vehicles with its whirring adamantine teeth. Originally intended for use in boarding actions, chain fists can be fitted to a suit of Terminator armor and have been found to make deadly weapons against any form of armored target. A chain fist is treated exactly as a power fist, but rolls strength plus 2d6 rather than d6 for armor penetration. Close combat weapon. Chaos Space Marines utilize an array of close combat weapons, from the dripping blades wielded by Plague Marines to the blood-stained chain axes carried by Khorne Berserkers. All are equally deadly in the hands of an expert warrior. Chain swords, chain axes, and combat blades are close combat weapons, as described in the Assault Phase chapter of the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook. Demon weapon. Demon weapons contain the power of a greater demon, gifted only to the most powerful Chaos Lords. See page 93 for the full rules and details of the different kinds of demon weapon. Force weapon. A force weapon is usually a sword or axe, though is sometimes a staff or rod. It channels the psychic energy of the wielder to rip the life force from those enemies it strikes. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of force weapons. Lightning claws. Lightning claws consist of heavily armored gloves, reinforced and fitted with long slashing talons sheathed in a rippling power field. Used most effectively in pairs, lightning claws slice through armor, flesh, and bone, with the same terrifying effectiveness. A model armed with lightning claws only receives the additional close combat weapon attack bonus if it is armed with a pair of lightning claws. Lightning claws ignore armor saves and re-roll any to-wound dice that fail to cause a wound. Power fist. A power fist is a powered, armored gauntlet surrounded by a disruptive energy field used to deliver crushing blows to the enemy. Traditionally attached to suits of Terminator armor, although warriors in power armor often choose to use them too, power fists are a deadly weapon, capable of felling the toughest foes. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of power fists. Power weapon. A power weapon, typically a sword or axe, but sometimes a glaive, halberd, whip, or mace, is sheathed in the lethal haze of a disruptive energy field. Power weapons are capable of chopping through the toughest armor. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of power weapons. Special equipment. Chaos Space Marine Bike. Models equipped with Chaos Space Marine bikes follow all of the rules for bikes as described in the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook. Chaos Space Marine bikes are fitted with twin-linked bolters as standard. Familiar. A sorcerer with a familiar may be given one psychic power more than normal. The familiar is always assumed to be on the same base as its master, although it is permissible to represent it separately for modeling purposes. It does not count as an extra model and is only removed if its master is killed. Frag grenade. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of using frag grenades. Jump pack. Models equipped with jump packs are jump infantry, as described in the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook. In addition, models that are wearing jump packs can be dropped from low-flying gunships, using their jump packs to swoop down onto the battlefield. To represent this, they can be kept in reserve and arrive using the Deep Strike rules. See the Mission Special Rules section of the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook. Crack grenade. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of using crack grenades. Melter bomb. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of how to use melter bombs. Wings. Models equipped with wings move in the same way as jump infantry, as described in the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook. In addition, models that have wings can be dropped from low-flying gunships. They can be kept in reserve and arrive using the Deep Strike rules. See the Mission Special Rules section of the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook. Armor. Power armor. Models equipped with power armor receive a 3+ armor save. Terminator armor. A model wearing Terminator armor has a 2+ armor save and a 5+ invulnerable save. Models in Terminator armor are capable of moving and firing with heavy weapons and may assault after firing rapid fire and heavy weapons. On the other hand, models in Terminator armor may not sweeping advance after assaults. Also, any model wearing Terminator armor can be teleported onto the battlefield. They may always start the game in reserve and arrive using the Deep Strike rules, even if it is not part of the mission being played. Demonic steeds. Gifts of the Chaos Gods, demonic mounts are a symbol of a champion's status. Each ruinous power has its own favored steed. A model may only take a demonic steed if it also has the mark of the same Chaos God. Mount of Slanesh. The demonic steed confers to the rider +1 attack and changes the unit type of the model from infantry to cavalry. Disc of Zinch. This demonic steed confers to the rider +1 attack and changes the unit type of the model from infantry to jump infantry. Juggernaut of Khorne. This demonic steed confers to the rider +1 attack and +1 strength. The model cannot be carried in transports, exactly as if it was a cavalry model. Palanquin of Nurgle. This demonic steed confers to the rider +1 attack and +1 wound. The model may not be carried in a Chaos Rhino. It may be carried in a Chaos Land Raider, but counts as 2 models. Vehicle Armory. Battle Cannon. Range 72 inches. Strength 8. AP 3. Type Ordnance 1. Large Blast. Demonic Possession. The vehicle ignores shaken and stunned results altogether, though transported passengers are affected normally, but its BS is reduced to 3. Demolisher Cannon. Range 24 inches. Strength 10. AP 2. Type Ordnance 1. Large Blast. Dirge Caster. When the vehicle tank shocks, the enemy suffers an extra -1 modifier to their leadership. Dozer Blade. A vehicle equipped with a dozer blade can re-roll a failed difficult terrain test, as long as it is not going to be moving more than 6 inches that turn. Extra Armor. Vehicles equipped with extra armor count crew stunned results on the vehicle damage tables as a crew shaken result instead. Havoc Launcher. Range 48 inches. Strength 5. AP 5. Type Heavy 1. Blast. Twin-linked. Pintle-mounted combi weapon. Pintle-mounted weapons are treated as an additional weapon with the profile of a normal combi weapon, which can always be fired in addition to other weapons if the vehicle did not move more than 6 inches. See the combi weapon war gear entry for details. Pintle-mounted twin-linked bolter. Pintle-mounted twin-linked bolters are treated as an additional weapon with the profile of a normal twin-linked bolter, which can always be fired in addition to other weapons if the vehicle did not move more than 6 inches. See the twin-linked bolter war gear entry for details. Searchlight. Searchlights are of use when the night fighting rule is in effect. If a vehicle has a searchlight, it must still use the night fighting rules to pick a target, but, having fired at that unit, will illuminate it with the searchlight. For the rest of the shooting phase, any other unit that fires at the illuminated unit does not use the night fighting rule. However, A vehicle using a searchlight can always be targeted during the following enemy turn, ignoring the night fighting rules, as the enemy see the searchlight. Smoke launchers. See the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook for details of smoke launchers. Psychic powers. A psyker may only attempt to use one psychic power per turn. The only exception to this is a model with the Mark of Tzeentch, which can attempt to use up to 2 psychic powers per player turn, but not 2 powers that both count as firing a weapon, as models can only fire 1 weapon per shooting phase. Doombolt. Doombolt may be used in the model's shooting phase, instead of using another ranged weapon. A psychic test must be passed in order to use the power. When used, Doombolt counts as a weapon with the following profile: roll to hit and wound as normal. Range 18 inches. Strength 4. AP 3. Assault 3. Warp time. The power is used at the start of any player's turn. If successful, the psyker may re-roll all rolls to hit and rolls to wound for the entirety of that player's turn. Gift of Chaos. A psyker may use this power at the beginning of his turn. The psyker may be in close combat at the time, as may the target. Pick an enemy model and then take a psychic test. If the test is successful and the target is found to be within 6 inches of the psyker, roll a d6. If the d6 roll scores over the victim's toughness, the victim is transformed into a shapeless blob of flesh and is removed as a casualty, and, as no wounds are taken, no saves apply. Use the model's base toughness, not the modified toughness for being on a bike, for example, and a roll of 6 is always successful, regardless of the target's toughness value. Models without a toughness characteristic cannot be affected. If the player using the power has a Chaos Spawn model available, he may replace the victim with a spawn. The spawn is immediately under the Chaos player's control, and is worth 40 victory points if killed. If the model was in base contact with friendly models, they are now engaged in combat with the spawn. Wind of Chaos. Wind of Chaos may be used in the model's shooting phase, instead of using another ranged weapon. A psychic test must be passed in order to use the power. If successful, this is resolved in the same way as firing a template weapon. Any models fully or partially under the template suffer 1 wound on a d6 roll of 4+, with no armor or cover saves allowed. Vehicles touched by the template suffer a glancing hit on a d6 roll of 4+. Lash of Submission. A psyker may use this psychic power in the shooting phase instead of using another ranged weapon. Pick any non-vehicle enemy unit visible to the psyker and within 24 inches, and then take a psychic test in order to use the power. If the test is successful, the target is moved 2d6 inches by the Chaos player. This move is not slowed by difficult terrain, but dangerous terrain tests are taken as normal. Victims may not be moved off the table into impassable terrain or within 1 inch of enemy models. After this, the affected unit must take a pinning test. Nurgle's Rot. Nurgle only. A psyker may use this power in the shooting phase instead of using another ranged weapon. The psyker may be in close combat at the time, as may the targets. If the psychic test is successful, all enemy models within 6 inches of the psyker suffer a Strength 3 hit with AP nil. Bolt of Change. Tzeentch only. Bolt of Change may be used in the model's shooting phase, instead of using another ranged weapon. If the psychic test is successful, Bolt of Change counts as a weapon with the following profile: roll to hit and wound as normal. Range 24 inches. Strength 8. AP 1. Assault 1. You have been listening to Oldex, Codex Chaos Space Marines, 4th edition. Pages 61 to 88. Forces of Chaos. The Rules and Stats. Part 3. Written by Gav Thorpe and Alessio Cavatore. Narrated by R.J. Bailey. With great thanks to Alistair for donating this copy of Codex Chaos Space Marines. Thank you to Gav Thorpe and Alessio Cavatore for writing the fiction I grew up with. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a review where you found it, or like, share and subscribe on YouTube, depending how you're listening. I don't have a Patreon or enable ads for this, so if you really like Oldex, please do contact Games Workshop on social media or via email and tell them you want me to narrate their audiobooks for realsies. This production, like all of Oldex, is entirely unofficial and uncommercial. From an out-of-print publication, is a derivative work with all copyrights owned by Games Workshop, and is a celebration of the hobby and lore I grew up with. If you have suggestions for other old Codex fiction for me to narrate on this podcast, you can comment, contact me on Twitter at rjbailey, or email robertjbailey@gmail.com. Links are in the show description. Just like your mum.